All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome. Today I want to talk a little bit about martial arts school ownership. So let's dig into this. All right. Most martial arts schools, the owners are not lazy, right? In fact, I would say almost the opposite is typically going to be true, right? The owner is usually the one that's out there doing the work, hanging out, doing all the hard stuff, right? These martial arts school owners are really some of the hardest working people in their community, in their school. What are they doing every day? They're teaching classes, they're helping students, they're answering messages, they're solving problems, and really trying to grow the school at the same time, right? It's a lot of work, there's a lot of moving parts, there's a lot of things happening in those businesses. And really kind of when you look at it, despite all the effort, the time, the energy that they're putting into it, a lot of times those schools still feel stuck, right? The owners feel stuck. Maybe the enrollment goes up 1 month, but then the next month it drops back down. Revenue might go up 1 month, but then the next month it drops back down. You see slow growth from time to time. You see profit from time to time. But typically what's happening in most of these martial arts schools that we talk to, the owner ends up carrying more and more of the weight of the business, right? So they're trying to teach the classes, they're trying to do this stuff on the mat, they're trying to help all of their students, they're trying to help all of their staff if they even have any staff. But at some point, right, and I know I was there with my school, but at some point the owner starts thinking like, what am I doing here? Like, I've opened up this school, I've kind of put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing. I love coaching, but what it feels like is I'm just here putting out fires all day. I have no real rhythm to my day. I have no real thought process behind it. It's just really answering emails, trying to get people signed up, teaching classes, figuring out curriculums, like all of the different things that go into it. Like the school owners just literally feeling busy all day long, right? They really have never they don't have the time that really to be able to break through that next level, right? And that next level may be more students, more revenue, more profit. It doesn't matter, but it's the idea of planning and processing that business in order to grow it, right? Because when we're in the day to day, we're literally just running around, chicken the head off, trying to figure out what we need to do next to make sure that bills are paid, classes are taught, students are happy, all of that kind of stuff. So, if that sounds familiar, you're not alone, right? Like I've talked to tons of school owners every week, and they're all in this same kind of mindset. And truthfully, I know it's true because I went through it myself, right? When I first opened my academy back in 2009, I was teaching all the time. I was working a full-time job. I was a parent. I was a husband. I love coaching. I love being on the mats. I love going to the tournaments. I love, coaching the MMA side of it. But the business side of it always felt chaotic, right? Like it literally was like we didn't know what we were doing from 1 minute to the next. It was just literally answering emails, doing the stuff, cleaning the toilets, putting in contracts, like whatever needed to be done. We were just doing that as owners. So it was just that chaotic mix all the time. So some months we would grow, we'd get more students, we'd get more revenue. Other months it would slow down again, right? There was really no rhyme or reason to what was happening. And I remember thinking to myself, like, what? I'm working harder than ever. Why is this thing not actually breaking through, right? Why am I not getting the students that I want or the revenue that I want or the profit that I want? Why am I working so hard? But these things just are not working, right? I'm not growing. I'm not seeing the growth in the business. I'm not seeing the growth in my bank account or any of those areas. And that's when I really started to realize it was something else, right? Something was super important. The problem wasn't I needed to work harder, right? The problem, I was working super hard. The problem was I needed to be working harder outside of the day to day, right? I needed to look and see what role I was actually doing every day. And if I was doing the roles that I needed to in the leadership and the business practices, I could see the business starting to grow. But if I was just stuck in the day to day doing all of the instruction and admin and cleaning toilets and returning phone calls, that's when those roles started to blur a little bit, right? I couldn't really find my way from instructor or just kind of like in there doing the technician work into the actual role of the business owner and kind of the one that is looking at the growth of the business, right? So the problem wasn't I wasn't working hard enough. I was working super hard. I was just working really hard in the wrong areas of the business, right? The problem was that I was working too hard in the areas that I didn't need to be working in, and I wasn't working hard enough in the areas that I needed to actually see some growth in the school. And once I kind of cleared that up and I kind of understood that, I started to see big changes, right? I could see more students, I could see more revenue, I could see more profit. In reality, there was really three specific reasons that if you feel like you're working really hard in your business, or you feel like the business isn't growing to where it wants to be, there's really kind of three things. Most of the time, owners don't realize these reasons because why, right? We're stuck in the day to day. We're stuck grinding out, running the school, doing all the things, and we don't have the time to sit back and look at the business, right? Step back and really see what's happening on a day to day basis. We're stuck inside the business, putting out fires, doing all the work. But once you see these kind of three things, everything starts to seem a lot easier and make a lot more sense. So I'm going to be talking about kind of these three main things, and I'm actually going to be doing a free training on this next Monday. But that's going to be really in-depth kind of training on each one of these levels. But I want to kind of just talk at a higher level right now. So the training that I'm going to be doing is really the three reasons hardworking martial arts school owners stay too busy to grow, right? So really on this training, what I'm going to be kind of walking you through is the idea, the trap that keeps many school owners stuck doing everything themselves, right? And we're all kind of find ourselves in that. Like we're putting out the fires, we're answering the emails, we're teaching the classes, we're cleaning the toilets. All of those things that we're doing every day keeps us stuck in those same roles. And so I was going to be kind of talking about why some martial arts schools can grow steady while others really kind of stay stuck, right? And there's a cycle to this. And I call it the growth and drop cycle. And really the idea is like you get momentum, you get some activity, you get some people in the door, you start to grow a little bit, but then something happens and you don't do that the next month. And what happens is you start to lose people. And then you do it and you lose people and you do it and you lose people. And that's where people really get stuck at that ceiling of maybe it's 50 students, maybe it's 100 students. But there's going to be a ceiling because the students that you're getting in the door, also you're losing out the back door. So we've got to be able to put some structure and some systems in place to not only get new leads and new members, but also keep the ones that we have longer. So we see this kind of growth and drop cycle throughout the different business model, but we have to be able to kind of figure out what's causing it, how do we correct it, and what are some of the strategies behind that. And really the third thing that we see in this area is really the structure of a successful school owner is to install, systems and processes. The school will grow without you as the owner if you have some of these systems and some of these processes in place. If you have to do everything yourself, and you might not have to hire team members, but maybe you can automate some of it. Maybe you can delegate some of it. Maybe you can eliminate some of it. And that's going to allow you to free up that time as a school owner to be able to get the more important things done in the business. So most importantly, what I'm going to be kind of talking about and really showing you is how school owners can really kind of continue to do what they love on the mat, right? Like teaching, training, building community inside the club, kissing babies, handshake and all of that kind of stuff, to build what they actually love, which is an amazing martial arts school with some amazing instruction and amazing students. But you have to also have a business that is able to build revenue and profit for you. I talk about this a lot. There's really two reasons to start a business. One is you want to help people, right? You want to help them do things that they want to do, whether it's martial arts, protection, bully proof, confidence, any of those things, lose weight. You're helping someone do those things that's out there. The other thing that you can actually help them do or help yourself do is make money, right? So if we can make money, we're able to do these things more often at a bigger scale, and it actually starts to help and impact more lives out there because we have the money to be able to do that. So we're going to talk about, while still building a school, doing the things that you love inside of that school, but actually a school that grows and makes money. So if you're a martial arts school owner who feels busy all the time, but growth still feels slower than it should, I think, the training that we're going to do will really help you. So down in the description, there is a link. If you want to click that link, you're going to get set up and registered for the training. You actually just be on a list of a priority list that we're going to be doing. So I'll be sending out some more trainings inside that priority list. You have to be on the list in order to get the free trainings that I'll be doing. But we will be doing a big training on Monday. But between now and Monday, we will be sending out some more trainings like this, but more in depth on the areas of the business that we see that most owners are struggling with. And so just so, like, even if you've never joined anything that I've offered before, this training will still help you grow your business. You want to look at it from a completely different mindset and a completely different viewpoint of your business. So I see a lot of owners struggling still. And honestly, that's why I want to do this training. And that's why I want to see more owners win, right? If I can give you better tactics, better strategies, better insight into your business, you're not going to only be winning on the mat. You're going to be winning in business every day and in life. And that's really what's important to me. I want to help more people too. I want to help more business owners have a better business for themselves. And that is what my goal is. And that's why I do these trainings. So, again, go ahead, click the link, get registered for the full training and access to the priority list. You'll get more trainings in there. And by the way, if you haven't met me before, I probably should have talked about this at the beginning, but I'm Lance, founder of Academy Kings. I have multiple schools in Maryland that we run, and I've helped hundreds of other martial arts school owners from all over the country build a stronger, more stable academy for themselves, more profit, more revenue, more students. And hopefully, you'll be there. I look forward to seeing you, and I look forward to helping you on that call. So yeah, if you want, go ahead, click the link, get set up for the free training and the priority list for all the free trainings that we will be putting out for the Academy Kings Growth Lab. All right. I hope that helps. And if you have any questions, drop them in the chat or comments. And click the link and get set up soon. Bye.